Hello, welcome to a video on my thoughts on the current market. It's not done this in a long while. Um, if you follow my channel and watch all the auction recaps as well as my got the head videos over the past 6 months, no doubt you heard me talk about how X-Men 1, Fantastic Four #1, as well as Spider-Man #1 have risen significantly over the past 6 months. And a lot of that, or some of it, has to do with, of course, the rumors of Disney wanting to buy Fox. Some of it, okay? But I believe the bigger contributors to this is the rising tide. For those that trade stocks, I'm sure you have heard of the saying, rising tide lift all boats. Rising tide lift all boats. Basically, in a raging bull market, just about anything, you can throw a dart on a stock board and that ticker will probably go up as well. So it's hard to pick a loser in a raging bull market. Once the markets crash, that's a different story. But the same thing with the stock market. No doubt we have had a raging bull market in the past, I would say, 8 years, since 2010, where I think the market kind of flatlined and down a little bit in 2010, 2011, as far as, big keys, Amazing Fantasy 15. If you look at the price of Amazing Fantasy 15 in those 2 year span, there was a slight dip, if not flatline, in many of the grades. But since 2010, 2011, we have had a raging bull market as far as comic book Silver Age keys, okay? And that has lifted all boats. And that's one of the reasons why I think finally it is dragging up the ASM, Spider-Man #1, X-Men 1, as well as Fantastic Four #1. And not just Silver Age keys, it is dragging up all the Bronze Age keys as well. I mean, no one can dispute the madness that is going on with Hulk 181, House of Secret 92, Werewolf by Night 32, you name it. There are many books across the board that have been sucked up higher because of this rising tide, okay? So will this trend continue? Hard to say. Okay, hard to say. Can it pause? Absolutely. Just like the stock market. For those that follow the stock market this year, this is May of 2018. And the return of the S&P 500 is practically 0% since Christmas. So yes, for almost 5 months, flatline. Over 4 months, flatline. Okay, sure, it went up 8%, down 3%, all that stuff, but net, since Christmas through May, 0%. So, can the same thing happen to keys? Absolutely. I think for those that haven't been in this hobby long enough, if you just enter this market since 2010, if you just start collecting in 2012, 2013, it seemed like nothing bad can happen, okay? Sure, if you've been around for 5 or 6 years and all you see is books doubling over that 5 or 6 year span, it seemed great. But as with anything, there need to be a pause eventually, if not a correction. Hey, we all prefer just a pause, right? Just like in the stock market. Hey, nobody want a bear market. We like a bull market or a flat line and then resumption of the bull run. But same thing with the stock, with comic book market. There will be a time where it will be a low. When that happen? Until there is a slowdown in the economy, significant slowdown in the economy, as we saw back in 2010. You know, it finally trickled into the hobby, I think, in 2010 to 2011, after the economy crashed and bottomed out in 2009, okay, when things was really bad. So for me, for now, you know, whenever people ask me in the past 6 months, how come things are so good? How come books are going crazy? I'm like, well, rising tide lifts all boats. As many people that have been able to get the Amazing Fantasy 15, once they got that, they move on to the next tier book, the next big keys, and they start fighting over the same book. So the same guy that fought over the Amazing Fantasy 15 went down the ladder, went down the food chain, and fight over the X-Men 1 and Fantastic Four #1, so on and so forth. There are a lot of new money, no doubt, flowing into the hobby, no doubt. Okay, prices doesn't go up like this without additional money going into the hobby. And that's it. That's my thought as far as the comic market, the current comic market is concerned. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.